Welcome to War Games. We will get you ready for your next sales opportunity. Are you looking to win the sales battle? You have joined the right team. Here on the War Games Group, we take the strategies and mindsets from the most successful salespeople and share it with you. With our help, you won't have to fail your way to the top. When it comes to crossing the minefield of sales, step in the footprints of those that crossed before you. Prepare yourself for boot camp and beyond. It's time for War Games to begin.
Shall we play a game?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to War Games Wednesday. I am excited to welcome everybody here today, but I'm really thrilled to be dropping in a buddy of mine, Mr. Tim Kintz. And let me grab Netta real quick, bring her up on the screen. She's here. And then I have Tim that's in here too. So I want to say welcome to everybody that's on the screen. Let me try to make this a little bit bigger. That looks better for all of us. Tim's got a much better studio because I am in dealership today and training. So I want to say, Tim, thanks so much for coming on board. Tim and I have known each other since, I know it's going to date ourselves, back in 2008. Right, we used to work together.
Getting old.
Both of us have gone our ways in the automotive space, which I think is fantastic because we are together again. And so it is a wonderful thing for me. I got people. Tim, my question to you: as we go through this, do you want me to interrupt you at all with people's questions? Do you want us to go back? Because I plan on talking to you and bringing up some stuff because I'm really excited about what you have accomplished recently, and I got a list of questions I'm going to ask you about when it comes to being that guy.
Interrupt away. I'd rather interrupt and get the questions as they pertain than try to circle back later after the thoughts have passed.
Fantastic.
You know, the older we get, you know, I'm not going to remember what the thought pattern was. So I can remember what I did when I was 3, but I can't remember why I'm in the kitchen.
I feel that every single time. Now, I don't have to talk slower at all just because you're in Texas, right? That's only Mike C.
No, I'm not from Texas. I just got here as quick. I just got here as quick as I could. So, and I'm from all over: Missouri, Alaska, California, a little bit everywhere. So,
fantastic. So, what I want to bring up too from you, got Yesenia says hello or hola from her side of it. So Tim is he's known all over for being an automotive trainer. He's the owner of the Kintz Group. Now on the phone with the dealership. But he's become an Amazon bestseller. He's got a couple books out. What I'm really excited about is the most recent book that he came out. I own both of them. I love them. They're great on here. I also want to pick your brain about where automotive is going, where sales is going as a whole. Because when you look at what we do, right, is actually in dealership as well. So we are facing a change in automotive, change in business for everyone. And so I know you are out and we hear from the automotive space, grab people from outside, bring them into your location to do face-to-face dating, right?
right.
So when you look at this, my question to you, I'm going to throw out there first, is say, what is it we have to do to stay up with the times? What is it that we got to look at and say, this is now different because of the fact that our interaction face-to-face is getting less and less? Do you feel that? Or?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of there's a lot of things we got to be willing to embrace, right? Digital communication is huge. Our ability to be able to kind of be a chameleon to how our customer wants to communicate, right? Some people want to be face-to-face. Some people want to do it via Zoom or Skype, FaceTime. Some people are email, text, direct messaging. I have to be good in all areas of communication in today's world, not just face-to-face and or phone. So I think the demand on a salesperson, I don't care if you're in real estate, selling cars, whatever it is, the demand on your ability to communicate both digitally and face-to-face is probably greater than it's ever been, because you know as well as I do, and every industry knows this, that the pandemic fast forwarded. It was forced evolution for all of us when it comes to communication and the experience that we're going to be able to deliver, right? It's not just saying we're different. Now we have to be unique. Now we have to be different. And I think relevance for all of us in any industry is, I always go to Wayne Gretzky's famous quote that he said that good players skate to where the puck is, great players skate to where the puck's going to be. I think as pros in any industry, we need to be looking at where are we going. I don't want to just be playing follow the leader, because I'm always going to be behind. How can I see where the puck's going to be prepared for it while being the best I can where the puck is right now?
Fantastic. Now, my specialty, I do, like Mike, who's in your office, have that face for radio, right? And so it helps me. I love the virtual prospects and converting them to actually come in. Where do we see, as far as most of the world today, right? How is it that the website has to, how is it that, right, how we reach out to people? What is it that we need to focus on as an industry? I'm not talking automotive, I'm talking just sales. What is it that we're accomplish when it comes to the fact that now digital storefront, which is what we call the website, now truly is the digital storefront that we're trying to. So,
well, I think I always talk about there's 4 knockout rounds in today's world. We had 1 knockout round in the past. Knockout round number 1 in today's world is your showroom. It's your online showroom, your store. Is it easy to navigate? Is it up to date? Is it customer friendly? Does it bring the product to me, or do I have to dig and search for the product? But either way, either it's going to be friendly, easy to navigate, up to date, relevant, and I'm going to move to round 2, or you're going to be eliminated. It's just an elimination round. If you move into elimination round 2, that's when that customer sends an inquiry, right? They fill out a contact form. They reach out to based on any of your call to actions that you have set. And really that comes down to your ability, how fast you respond to people, how unique you are, how do you create separation, differentiate yourself from every other store, every other salesperson that they're reaching out to. You know, Joe, as well as I do in our business, that more dealerships than not use canned templates that came with their CRM that they got when they signed up 12 years ago. And it's the same thing. When the pandemic hit, I did a bunch of secret shops and sent out inquiries to dealerships. And hell, I couldn't tell the difference between what dealership was responding, because if they were in VIN Solutions, it was the same template from every store. If they were in Dealer Socket, it was the same template. And hell, most of them hadn't even updated their hours. They weren't even open because they were all closed with the pandemic, and they still said they were open from 9 to 9. So it's how fast are we getting back to them? How unique? I think video is king. Personalized organic video on that initial reach out to people to create that separation. And if you make it to round 3, that is your actual digital communication. When you start the conversation, whether it's digitally or verbally or face-to-face, how effective are you at closing on the appointment, on the product, whatever you're actually selling? And round 4, man, that's never changed. That's face-to-face. That's once you're belly to belly with them, how good are you at closing them once they show up? But man, I think we got to look at all 4 rounds, elimination rounds in today's world.
I agree completely. And one of the things that I see, like, for example, I just had somebody reach out to me from a store group and said, can you mystery all my dealerships? Can you go out there, do this mystery shop so that I know what they're doing on the phones? And then they asked what I thought was different today, which is they said, can you do face-to-face mystery shops? Right? And I looked at that, I was like, wow, okay, so somebody is actually looking forward, based off of everything you just said, right? Your 4 different rounds. Somebody's actually looking at round number 4, which mystery shop somebody. You know, a lot of retail giants do that, but in automotive, how rare it is. And I also look and say, would it help in the real estate world? Would it help in mortgage? Would it help with somebody if we had mystery shoppers actually prove to us what our process looks like? And so for that group, when I look at that group, I'm like, okay, and this is where I think your strength is in everything I know about you is leadership. I look and say the leadership stuff said, I want to check every so that I don't miss anything, right? So, wow, that's a great leader. So what does great leadership look like to you? And if you could say it in simple words for me, that would be great.
Fearless, visionary, adaptable, and present. They're fearless, meaning they're not afraid to go for it, right? Like I talked about where the puck's going to be, and they're not afraid. They don't give you the, well, that's just not how we do it. Well, that's not how it's always been, bullcrap. And you know, I guess the good news with the pandemic, as far as a lot of it's not how we do it mindset, that went away because we were in survival mode. And there's a whole lot of, we don't do home deliveries. They need to come to the dealership. You know, my wife's in real estate. There was a whole lot of adapting and adjusting that had to be done to be able to sell houses because the demand was still there. But you have to be fearless. You have to be able to put a plan together, be willing to adapt and adjust. Realize every plan you put together, you know, Tyson's famous saying is everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. You have to be willing to make a change, adapt and adjust on it. And you have to be present for your people if you're a leader and not just put something in place and say, go do it and disappear like happens so often. Seagull management, right? You never see them, and every now and then they fly in, squawk, make a lot of noise, dump on you, and then fly out. You have to, but you also can't be the helicopter manager that doesn't give any room to their people to let them be creative, right? We squash the creativity right out of our people and wonder why they're not willing to do something new, right? We're the culture setters in a dealership, whatever that culture is.
Yeah, I was going to say, and that goes good and bad. Right. I have several clients where I have the manager that almost the employee advocate who likes to take all of the stuff from them. And I've seen this in multiple industries, even like chiropractic offices. So I have clients there that because they have to get people from the phone into the chair. And I've seen them where the answer is, I'll do it myself, right? I'll do it myself. So letting somebody do their job. So you stepped on their ability to do their job. You took it upon yourself, and now you are not in any that you can. So
if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself mindset, right? And that's good to a point, but you're not a leader, you're a doer, and you're never going to grow. It's, you know, I had a dealership I was going into that they had 2 really good young piss and vinegar managers that, man, these guys were on the floor and they were kicking ass. They were doing pretty good. The problem is they capped out at about 90 cars a month because they had 8 salespeople. But in real life, when I went there, I said, look, Gator and Tim, you guys don't have 8 salespeople. You have 2 salespeople with 8 assistants because the managers were the ones doing everything, doing all the selling, all the closing, everything. And the salespeople were basically their delivery coordinators. And it's being willing to teach people how to do their job, coach them as they're developing the skills, and then be there as support. And I think the hard thing for any manager, any leader in any industry now is we got so much stuff on our plates with emails and all the digital, all the requirements that we have. Internet didn't make it easier on us. We're worse managers in today's world than we were 20 years ago. 20 years ago, we didn't have our cell phones as distractions and the internet. And when service shut down, we spent time with our people because there was nothing else to do. At least we were hanging out and throwing footballs and doing something. So we knew our salespeople. And now, man, it's head down and look up when there's a car deal to be negotiated or or a heat case that we got to deal with. But other than that, there's very little interaction, very little being present all the time.
Fantastic. And I agree, because I see it a lot. I'll have plastic barriers in the People's Republic of California. And so now we're separated from our clients, but we're separated from our team as well. And we've got barriers that are plastic, but still, it's another reason for me to keep my head down in the sand and not look at the employee coming up, right? And me being in training, I walk in, like, where's the manager? Oh, I can see his head barely above the partition. That's
the wall, though.
So, and what I think a lot of what we need to focus on is leadership. When I look at leadership, right, you are the example of somebody who leads with conviction, somebody who leads with empathy, somebody who your team, and I know a lot of your team, right? Your team loves to work for you, but you don't give them slack, right? So there has to be something that from you where you could then lean on them to get more out of it, because it's almost like you surround yourself with people that are saying, push me, Tim, push me to the next level. So how does it get to the point where you can push people without it being you complaining or nagging or getting to that point?
You have to earn it.
Okay.
You have to earn the right to be able to do that. I talk about in Fearless that you have to build your emotional bank account with your people, right? Meaning I have to make positive deposits. I have to catch them doing good things. I need to have public recognition for my people. I need to make all those deposits throughout the course of a day, a week, a month into their emotional bank account. Because then when I need to lock the heels, when I need to hold them accountable, when I need to have straight talk about something, now I have enough in my emotional bank account or their emotional bank account that I can make withdrawals. Unfortunately, so often we're overdrawn. We make withdrawals, but we don't make those deposits into the emotional bank account. And, great coaches, they know how to motivate everybody. Some people, look, everybody's different. I hate hearing this whole millennials aren't motivated by money. They're lazy. They're all this bull crap. Man, I'm so sick of hearing that. I started in the car business in 1990. And there was guys selling that were 50 years old then, and they were lazy asses. They weren't driven by money. You couldn't get them to do follow-up. They didn't want to get better. And that was 30 years ago, 30 plus years ago. And that's the same stuff we bitch about now with young people. No, there's badass millennials. There's badass Navy SEALs that are millennials, great athletes. It's finding the right people and then developing the leader and winner within each one of them, man. You don't go out and recruit a great team. You recruit great people and turn them into great salespeople. I'm going through that right now with my son playing select baseball. We're looking for that great player, and I keep telling coach, we don't find the great player, we develop the players. Don't complain and bitch that you don't have good players. You have good people. Now it's our job to develop what's within them. They're not all going to be superstars, but how do I get the most out of each person? I always tell managers, you want to make a difference with your team? Stop managing your department and start managing the individuals within your department. That's when you're going to really make a difference. We look at that big number all the time. We see the big number. We got to hit 200 cars. We need to sell X number of product. No, little Johnny's got to sell 12. Susie's got to sell 22. When we can hit those numbers, the big numbers take care of themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Now, in the spirit of war games, strategy, and understanding that, in the battlefield of sales, we got to have something. I look and say, yes, battles are won based on leadership. What you said was get with little Johnny, get him to get from 12 to 15, 20, and now we're going to see a growth in the company. So looking at my managers, right? So as sales managers, a lot of people that are going to be watching on the replay that are like, well, I'm a manager of a team and I've got to get this stuff done. What is it? Do they ask themselves, right? And myself, how do I ask, what are the things I can ask myself to say, am I being a good leader? Right? What is it that I evaluate myself to say, am I 1 out of 10, right? Or am I a 9 out of 10? What is it that I can look at and say, here's a question that a manager needs to do to say, where am I at on the leadership scale?
I think there's two questions you got to ask yourself every day. In the morning, what am I going to do today to make my people better than they were yesterday? That's where it starts. Starts with your mindset and how you approach the day. And at the end of the day, when you turn out the lights, crawl in bed, whatever it is, ask yourself the follow-up question. Based on what I did today, are my people better than they were yesterday? And if you can't say yes, then you weren't a great leader. Right? It's if your people did not get better, if you did not get better, then you didn't lead yourself, you didn't lead your people. Improvement, constant improvement, no matter how big or small it may be. What are we doing to challenge ourselves? What are we doing to get out of our comfort zone, right? Get comfortable being uncomfortable. And we talked about culture, right? It's how do I create that culture where my team hates losing more than they love winning, right? That's always a question. Ask yourself, do you love winning or do you hate losing more? And I don't know, if you look at anything, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, any of the greats, they were supposed to win. Winning is that's just what they were supposed to do. They hated losing more than they loved winning, because winning, as soon as you win, it's over. Now it's time for the game. Tim Grover talks about that in his new book, Winning, right? It pours you the glass of champagne, and then winning knocks that champagne right over because it's done. It forgot who you were after it crowned you the winner. Oh, and yeah. That's what we got to have. We can't do an end zone dance because we had a great month. Okay, well, that month's over. Congratulations. Now we're on to next month, and keep pushing.
I agree. That's the same thing too. I laugh because Tim said the same thing, right? Give you the combination to the lock and then laugh because it's a combination, right? And I'm like, so true in any organization that hunt and eat on what you've actually hunted and killed. And so when I look at it, I say, what can I tell a manager today? Right now, I'm going to tell you, you tell me if you. One of the biggest said seagull management. They fly by, crap on you, squawk at you, that. Do you see the same thing in training? I see that based on my clients, I tell them we're going to set you up on this and do this. And then all of a sudden it's like, we can't do this. We can't do this. Oh my gosh, come in now. We need to do it now. And nothing is established and I keep going back to no, constant training is what helps, right? But what is the advice you give to a manager to even get them to buy into that?
Well, it's, like our buddy Bradley likes to say that training isn't something you did, it's something you do. It's ongoing, right? Training's that culture. But, in the book, in Fearless, I talk about, and I kind of joke around with this, but I always say leadership's overrated. And I don't really mean leadership's overrated. I think the word leadership is overused. If people throw leadership this, leadership that, there's 50 characteristics of a leader, 10 steps to being a leader. What the hell does leadership, what does that really mean? And I break it down to 4 areas. It's lead, manage, train, and coach, right? You lead people, you manage things, you train for knowledge, you coach for developing skills. And when it comes to in the dealership, I guess if I'm going to hold good training, number one, we got to do good at managing things, meaning we need to know the statistics, the probabilities, the tendencies. How do I know what to train on if I'm not tracking? Anybody that's a sports fan, probably, or movie buff, Moneyball, right? It's all Moneyball is. It's statistics, probabilities, and stats. So, and tendencies. So what are those stats? What are the real numbers? I'm not training on feelings. I'm training on facts. If I train on feelings, we don't necessarily get improvement. If we don't get improvement, then people don't buy in. If nobody buys in, I get pushback and training sucks and it goes away. So number one, it's got to be developed on a real process with real stats to know what's working, what's not. And then the coaching side of it is what really is missing, I think, more than training, right? We all got online training platforms. I've got 1,000 videos on selling, managing, everything on Kintz Now. Okay, that's knowledge, right? We've all heard knowledge is power. I don't buy it. Knowledge is dangerous in sales. Oh yeah, how many times you hear people tell you, Joe? Oh yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah, but can you do it? Well, I can do it with customers, just not with you.
Right. Oh, that's all the time.
Well, we know that's bull crap. If they suck with you, they suck worse with a customer. I mean, that's like me saying golfing with you and shooting a 98 and say, but when I golf alone, I'm a scratch golfer. No, you're not. It's the truth will set you free. But you got to say the words, right? You get knowledge. Once you have knowledge, now I got to develop it into a skill. We've all heard that selling is a transferal of enthusiasm, right? A sale is made when I transfer my enthusiasm to the customer. How am I enthusiastic? Well, knowledge. Once I have knowledge, I practice, develop skills, then I have confidence. When I have confidence, I'm enthusiastic. And when I have enthusiasm, dude, it's contagious. That's when you're a great salesperson.
Right. I agree. So perfect. So let's reach up on hitting our 30 minutes, which is what I had asked you to come out and give 30 minutes through. So one thing I would like to add is Tim has the book Fearless. We've used it a couple times, right? Does back what's in sales, what's in leadership, what's in training, what is it that we're looking for as the manager or as a person to be a manager. And I think a lot of times leading yourself is one of the hardest things because people look outside of themselves to say, someone tell me what to go do, right? Even though we may do it. So now I have the Kintz Group going across the bottom. Can they get the copy of Fearless there?
Yeah, and it says the Kintz Group. It's kintzgroup.com. They can get it on kintzgroup.com or Amazon. Either way, we have Fearless, and then I have Frictionless, which is closing and negotiating with purpose. So either one of them. And if you reach out to us on Kintz Group, we also have I have the golden rules for negotiating. It's free. Just contact us. We can get you either a download or send it to you on the golden rules for negotiating. Because look, we all negotiate, man. Everything's negotiation, so we got to be good at that. Absolutely. So we got all the product and closes and stuff. But man, it really just comes down to you got to have the drive, the discipline, the desire to kick ass. If you don't, then go work at the DMV or something, man. Because
agreed,
limited.
You're in the wrong industry, right? Get out of sales.
Yeah, it's
customer service. They like being.
Just you need to hate losing more than you love winning, and you're going to dominate. It's not rocket science, man. You just got to be competitive. I always tell managers when you interview somebody, ask them a lot of stuff, but one question that will help. There's no end all be all, but tell me the last time you were in a competitive situation, and just shut up and listen to people talk about it. You'll know if they're not competitive, they're not for sales. It's just that's how it is. I mean, I'm always competitive. My son's 11, and we do anything. I'm going to kick his ass while I can because he's going to be 6'5", 240 kicking my ass pretty soon. So I'm going to take advantage while I still can. So it doesn't matter if
it's not just to get it. Participation trophies at my house are Tim's.
Yeah, that's not really going to work here.
That's fantastic. So thank you, Tim. I appreciate you coming out, taking the time, setting up the studio, coming in and sharing with everybody. I encourage everybody to go out and get Fearless. Okay. Why? Because of the 2 books. I really, really enjoyed that one because the mindset is there. I think a lot, you have to understand in your ears, you got to fix. And it's easier for me to hear it from somebody else who's walking the same path and look at it and I go, okay, I love where he comes from. I love what he's doing. And again, quality people are not going to find quality than Tim Kintz.
Yep. Check me out. Social media, reach out. If you got any questions, let me know. Tim at kintzgroup.com is my email address or anywhere on social and get you my cell number. But
yes,
I'm always here.
Thank you very much, Tim. Appreciate you. And as we end with every show, I want everybody to go out there and go sell something. Thanks, everybody.